I never really believed in the light versus dark argument in the spiritual community until recently. Now, I know that this content is going to trigger some people out there. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to do that, but I will tell my story because I hope that it will teach somebody true discernment, especially when they have that feeling that something is just not right. Now, let me explain what happened. For years, I was following this spiritual teacher, like for years, okay? YouTube channel, listening to every video, listening to his podcast interviews, and he was growing a strong following. And I always was curious about his healing modality. I kind of thought he was really different and unique, and I was okay with that. And he was finally coming to my country. So I went to a group healing event where I knew I would meet him in person and kind of gauge if it's something that I wanted to pursue, right? First thing this spiritual teacher did was step into the middle of the room, begin, and then immediately turned to people that were a little bit disruptive, but not too disruptive. They were just starting to settle and get comfortable, yelled at them, pointed at them, demanded they do specific things, such as shut up, get in your heart, get out of your head. I'm talking. Do you want to be the teacher? No. Well, then shut up, get in your heart. I love you. I'm not even kidding you. It was full on angrily yelling. It wasn't just like a compassionate, hey, I want to, point something out to you, in a jokey way. It was aggressive, and it shocked the hell out of me. And I was sitting there, it's stunned, and I couldn't process it in the time I had no time to. I wanted to grab my bag and get out of there. I should have listened to that instinct. But then I was thinking, no, it's a fight and flight thing, right? Like I'm frozen. I want to leave. It's definitely an ego trigger. I got to figure out why it upsets me, right? So after witnessing that, I had to process. I'm the kind of person that needs to process by talking to others for me to understand intuitively what I already know. So that evening, I made it a point after our healing session that included breath work and a situation where they run code through you and then you lie down and receive healing. Yeah, it's different. I went out to dinner with a bunch of the ladies from this event and just had a good talking session about what happened, what is not okay, what is unacceptable for behavior, how these women over there felt being yelled at in that way, touching base with them afterwards as well, just to say that that was not okay and I back you and this behavior will not go on again. I will stand up this time and say it's not okay to behave that way. I don't have an excuse for that behavior. It really upset me. So here was my first alarm bell, my first warning. No matter how powerful, intelligent, attractive, magnetic, strong following, whatever the case, nobody should treat somebody else like that on a human level, right? Nobody should shame somebody. Nobody should yell at somebody and make them feel afraid. And so that was my first sign. But I thought, okay, I'm going to go in for the second day and stop this mind reeling with this information and trying to process. Just go in for the second day. I've paid for it. That's my seat. I don't care about anybody else's behavior. I'm here for my healing. And so I went in for the second day and I had a wonderful experience. I left elated. I drove home processing it all and decided that despite the behavior that I witnessed that I did not like, that I was still going to pursue the teachings because, you can leave what you don't need and take what you do, right? And so I was going with that. I made my first initial deposit for this upcoming training session. I was down for it. I'm like, let's go. And then I had this feeling in me though, that something wasn't quite right. I was missing information and I was starting to reach out to certain people to ask little questions to them, just fishing for information that I felt like there was something unsettling within me. I was still disturbed by what I witnessed and the behaviors that went down and I didn't have answers for it. So I went looking for answers and this is where the journey began. And I will make another video explaining what I learned. It blew my mind. It blew my mind.